Hey, good evening, everybody. Once again, it is Friday night, Collective Enlightenment. I am one of your hosts, Miss Ruby, also known as the Queen, Crypto Queen of Harlem. And I am here with my two favorite co hosts in the spot. We got none other than from the Bankers Club in the house, HD. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey everybody, it's Hutch and D, aka HD, coming to you live from Dayton, Ohio.
What's up? And who else is in the house to join and share this new revelation but none other than Mabu, the gold banker in the house? Who that?
Peace,
Come on.
family. Peace, family. What's going on? This is a Gold Banker coming to you live 1 gram at a time, and we about to have a good old time tonight.
All right. So normally, you know what we do. We get in, we get the news down. And when I say we give y'all the news, that's what's going down from the people's point of view, right here on the ground. And then we propose ways to get through whatever we're going through together. That's how it works. Collective enlightenment. So today
Absolutely.
we're gonna let Brother Hutch lead on that one. Don't worry about your background, bro. Don't worry about the background. We're gonna have to make it happen because we gotta get in on this combo. Life happens and we're gonna keep it moving. So let's do it. We are bringing to the conversation a bit of commentary. We're going to bring you what's been going down out here, literally around crypto. That story that most people are not getting. So that's what
That's
we're going
right.
to work on. Let's get it popping. Let them know what we doing. I'm bringing it up.
Oh,
Come on.
I got you. Um, Tonight we're going over basically the World Government Summit 2022. So basically what happened was in the World Summit Government, they're introducing this thing that we already know as blockchain technology.
Mm,
Mhm.
So blockchain technology basically is a technology base. It can be infrastructure of currency. It can be infrastructure of anything with the financial institution.
that's right.
Mm.
All right. Now, with that being said, in this case, let me see because I think we got two clips for this one. And I'm definitely putting out both clips today. You gotta let me know. Are we gonna? So, do you want to just let it run some? Are we in the right one? We got digital currency and retail banks, or did you want to go for the other one?
Yeah, we'll go from the retail banks, digital currency and retail banks.
All right. So, I wanted to share with everybody that this is a little long. It's a little longer in time, which is why we're just going to be giving some bites about what was covered, what the issue is, because people are like, "Well, what's wrong with it?" Let's let you listen for a minute and we'll see what the results of the interaction is. All right, let's do it, guys. This is from the World Government Summit that took place 10 days ago. Did anybody know? Anybody was told, notified, invited?
That wasn't a conversation for the people.
Mm. So let's
It
see.
is, but it wasn't in.
Financial institutions, developers, and consumers, they recognize today the value of blockchain technology and
Can you
programmable
hear
money.
it?
This is not something that can be
You might want to turn up a little bit.
everybody
I'm
around
gonna
us.
see if
That's
that'll
the
let me.
nature of our current financial system infrastructure. Settlements,
Turn up on the video.
Yeah, I was. This is as high as it's going. Wow.
I have the opportunity to work
Can you
with
hear?
central bank, especially in the GCC region, and also with commercial bank and payment service
My
providers.
It
goodness.
is very low.
Are implementing project at the moment that
It is
tackle
very low.
all the value chain of the money. We are talking from sales
Interesting.
CBDCs, we are talking about delivery versus payment, we are talking about cross-border payment, and finally, we are talking about retail CBDC.
This is crazy, y'all.
Effectively, if you're experimenting all of this, you need to
Then
tackle
try to
all
turn
of
that with your computer
this.
speaker.
All right,
Because
not a
it makes
problem.
sense. The second reason, as I said,
It's
is
not even my computer speaker, I
so
can tell
just
you.
to give you a figure, in 2021,
It's at 100.
$4 were transitioned through the
This is how the
electronic network
replay comes out.
Visa network. The shift is happening. The adoption of decentralized finance is going mainstream, and
Can you
consumers
hear
today,
anything?
they have access to more financial services offering and product, more access to sophisticated product that compared to what the central finance world could offer today, right? So Today, people have a choice between state-backed money, they can use their regular money, or they can use digital money, and they can use cryptocurrencies. They have a choice between both. At that stage, or where we are in 2022, this is not a question of if, but this is a question of when retail CBDC will go mainstream, and central banks at that stage, I think they have just no choice in moving forward with retail CBDC.
Thanks, Ian. And Caroline, if I can come over to you next. I mean, Ziad gave a great explanation as to why retail CBDCs, but why central bank digital currencies? Why not just stablecoins?
I guess if you think about traditional financial system, I think we can see there's really not a choice between one and the other. We don't need to choose whether we have retail CBDC or any form of CBDC, in fact, and stablecoin.
Can you guys hear that at all?
It's really, really audible.
Okay, let me try to. I want you guys to catch people up. They're also saying there's an echo because we have a little echo. So the guys are going to fill you in on what this conversation, where it's going. I'm going to change the video over. Okay, so go ahead, guys. Handle this. You want to handle this one?
Well, a lot of the basics portion of the conversation, and from just what I got, was the fact that they're actually analyzing how cryptocurrency will affect the market. And one of the terms I gleaned one of the conversations, he was speaking about it being a community ecosystem, a community ecosystem that was friendly, and you either go back to the old system or you go into the cryptocurrency system, which is going to solid out a few things. But he said something to the effect of regulating it on a larger scale. I didn't catch all of it.
Yeah. So basically, what he's talking about is making crypto available for a large scale for everybody, being an equal playing field. They already know about it's all he's talking about on a larger field of the CBCDLs, which is the basically the digital cash flow of the transactions flowing through from the banking system, the Federal Reserve System, to the people. So basically, we won't have time to basically cash in our old dollars into the new currency.
And that it's valid to the point where it can be done, but the shortfall to it is really that they really don't want the people to be in control of how the money moves, because essentially what you're going to have to do is allow the people to move it. And for lack of a better term, whales who have normally been in control of the transactional flow of the money will have to give up their seat at the table if they're not moving effectively or don't understand how it truly works. And that's not a conversation they're really putting on the floor. That's not the conversation that's being placed on the floor.
So just giving you guys a heads up. Look, I just want to put it out there very clearly that, I want to say thank you to everyone for your patience and just, being with us with this conversation. I hope that the sound works a little better. I tried to connect the proper, to link the two browsers to make sure that they work. And for not for nothing, these guys are point on. This new economic system is not coming. Believe it or not, you're just getting the information. It's here. You know what I'm saying? It's already here. We've got to get in this conversation. Everybody, the people, if you want to have a chance for your family to have anything, and people keep going, oh, it's good. It's all good. Is it really? How's paying your bills nowadays? How's going to the supermarket? I was talking to my husband the other day, and we were sitting there looking at some meat. And you remember what happened? We were standing in front of the meat, them steaks. I said something to the effect of, you shouldn't be making life decisions
around
around in front of the butchers. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be sitting in there making life decisions at the butchers, talking about if I'm going to eat this steak or if I'm going to buy this gas. That don't make no sense, y'all.
And it really doesn't.
But this is the reality we are all living in. I bet your food taste, your food preferences. Chicken is flying off the shelves. Why? Because beef is too expensive, and chicken is now going up. So guess what else you can get? Turtle fish. Ain't it great? You go right from a natural food to or semi-natural food to a canned food.
And you know, not for nothing. Realistically speaking, this isn't the first time something like this has occurred.
No,
this is not new. This is. I want to say it's evolution.
You're yelling.
I want to say it's evolution, but it's actually the flow of finances,
commerce.
Yeah, eventually, fiat currency are only the average fiat currency has a lifespan of 20 years. If you look back in history, and there's a video that you can actually look back and check in, it's on YouTube from Mike Maloney. It's called The History of Money. You can go back and check it. The average fiat currency normally has lasted 20 years, 30 years for longer. The currency that we're currently dealing in has been around for over 100 years, darn near 100 years. Then we decided to come off the gold standard back in 1971, which allowed corporations and the FTC and the U.S. Treasury to print unlimited amounts of paper fiat to put in the world for exchange purposes.
Okay, so we're going to get out of the money class right now and back into the what's going down.
Yeah, let's go. That's just like, oh boy.
Look, bottom line, P2G, go to the website, go join one of the free classes, and you will get a history of money up to cryptocurrency, from gold to cryptocurrency. And we'll include rubies, diamonds, and emeralds too, if you like. So bottom line,
your face said it all.
Whatever. I'm just saying. Bottom line, we have resources for these things. We're not just throwing facts at you. What we are going to give you is the news of the news. We're going to tell the people what the news is not letting them know. Why? I just want to ask Hutch, what was the necessity of showing this video?
Because when I first watched it, about yesterday, it was 9 days old, and it only had 385 views. That means only 385 people was aware of what was going on. So that means that they can either sneak in this system overnight, and a lot of people won't even know what will hit them.
Let's go back for those who haven't seen this, because this is the part that only 300 change. Show this video.
Compared to what the central finance world could offer today.
Is that better?
Right? So today, people have a choice between state-backed money, they can use their regular money, or they can use digital money, and they can use cryptocurrencies. They have a choice between both. At that stage, or where we are in 2022, this is not a question of if, but this is a question of when retail CBDC will go mainstream. And central banks at that stage, I think they have just no choice in moving forward with retail CBDCs.
Thanks, Ian. And Caroline, if I can come over to you next. I mean, Ziad gave a great explanation as to why retail CBDCs, but why central bank digital currencies? Why not just stablecoins?
I guess if we think about traditional financial system, I think we can see that it's really not a choice between one and the other. We don't need to choose whether we have retail CBDC or any form of CBDC, in fact, and stable coins. Even today in the financial system, the traditional financial system, we have a system of public and private money. Most of us, most of the time, are in fact using private money, but that is obviously supported by the public money infrastructure behind it. And we can sort of see in sort of the digital world a similar system, a parallel system actually evolving. I think what's most important is that we make sure that there are the options in place for consumers so that value is able to move as efficiently as information moves today on the internet. And I think from our perspective at the channels, what that really requires is very sort of forward-looking regulation, proportionate regulation, and ultimately a collaboration between the public and private sector. This is not a space which is going to be the domain of one or the other. It is very much a partnership between the two parts and very central parts of the economy. And I think that's the sort of future we're looking towards, rather than a sort of a choice between one and the other.
Thanks, Caroline. And Jack, if I come over to you now, and we shift focus from the motivation for retail CBDC and move towards some of the issues of implementation. You're quite close to a number of projects here. What are the issues that you're seeing, particularly on the retail CBDC side of things?
Thanks, it's a great question. So I think I would start with this from taking a step back and thinking, what is retail CBDC? And ultimately it is a product, it is a payment product. And it is a payment product that exists not in isolation. It's opposite current cash payments, it's opposite current sort of private money allocations, as kind of Caroline's talked to, whether it's debit cards or credit cards. If you're looking for a successful adoption of CBDC, you need to make it something that the public are actually wanting to have and willing to accept. Otherwise, there's an awful lot of effort that's going to go to something that gets little adoption. And therefore, I think, that's where we need to start with some of these things. Ziad's talked about some of the motivations for central bank digital currency, and I think that's really where we then derive what some of the requirements for it might be. For instance, we work with the Swedish Central Bank on the e-krona project. One of their motivations is the provision of central bank money, central bank liabilities to the public. That's fulfilling their mandate as a central bank. And their investigation of CBDC is about fulfilling that. Now we have other projects, for instance, in Kazakhstan, where one of the projects where it's really about kind of the next generation of payment rails and thinking about how you could use programmable money. Those are completely different motivations, and they also, as a result, drive up entirely different requirements that the technology has to meet. So I think over the next sort of 12 months or so, what we'll see is a kind of maturing and better understanding from central banks as to what they want to achieve, and then a better, clearer set of requirements to give to the private sector to then go ahead and deliver something for them.
So let's have a discussion, y'all. What did you get from this discussion, this part of the discussion? One of the things that I got was that, they're talking about incentivizing this. Does anyone know what a CBDB is? Have they clear? I want to ask, y'all think they clearly pointed out what it was?
Not at all.
Please text if you guys are watching. Please text if you have gotten a clear definition to what a CBDB is, and if not, if anyone says no, we'll be sure to answer you.
Funny thing, they made it very clear what the central banks were. They made it very clear about how the fiat currency runs through the central bank and the systems that are in place that they can do back checks through the central bank and make the central banks responsible for the funding. But when they went over to Kazakhstan, well, we're looking at this and we're seeing this. And could you answer the question? Because you answered it clearly on the old money.
Right.
Tell me what you want to do with the new money with some clear, concise decisions or options. And he didn't state any other option other than we're looking at it as a project.
Okay, first of all, this is a project that they want to make sure that there's adoption for. My question is,
absolutely,
is there already a growing amount of adoption for cryptocurrencies?
Could you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
So they're pointing out that they're going to want to make sure there's an adoption for this, right? So they're talking about incentivizing it. Possibly, no. I got to know. So good. We'll explain what a CBDB is. All right. So basically, it's programmable money that comes from and through the
state.
What you call it? The banks. Banks?
The Federal Reserves.
Thank you. So all the Federal Reserves out here are going to provide these new digital type. Now, but basically, I know everybody's saying, don't we already have digital money? No, actually, what you have is numbers supposedly backed by unlimited amounts of fiat. So that's really what you got going on right now. And that doesn't work because honestly, you can't print it fast enough. But you know what you can do? You can get computers. If y'all think it's bad now,
see,
those dollar bills, give me 1 second. Let me just break it down. Those dollar bills still have a finite number that's printed, and those numbers coming up have to match. That's still a system that is still taking place. So a trillion printed has to be a trillion digital. Guys, tell me if I'm wrong.
Right? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's more of a it's like a coupon actually, because like any given time that you do something wrong, it can be your wallet. Your wallet.
He's talking about the CBDBs. I was talking about the fiat money. Fiat money represents a 1 million for 1 million. Those physical dollars got to add up on. So that's your current digital state of dollar. That's how that works. CBDBs though don't have to have those written dollar bills behind them.
No, because those zeros and ones. This is just a larger form of the digital ones. They print the digital ones and zeros they were doing prior to you coming off the gold standard. Well, after you came off the gold standard. Let me be realistic.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, stop trying to go through history. We here in the present. We're gonna stay in the present, go toward the future.
But you gotta go. You gotta go.
The foundation is where the problem. When they I know you may not like, but when they pulled the foundation off, they pulled the rug off all the rules that were actually made any sense to maintain the value.
Totally get it. I totally get it. But right now, we're not making a comparison between our back. There you go. And someone we got. So if you're a Facebook user, please put your name in so we can give you love. We definitely want you to get some give some love for what you guys are coming out with here. Thank you so much for participating. And everyone who's on, let's do it. Someone says CBDBs will be linked to your ID and probably a vaccine status. Okay, and this is opinion, by the way. CBDBs will be linked to your ID for sure.
Shout out to Joel Butter.
Joel. Okay. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you, baby. Look, keep this going out. The reason we are even on tonight is because this summit about what is happening, not might happen, not could happen, but is happening to the current financial system.
I want people to realize, I don't know if they saw this in the beginning of the platform. You have the moderator is a financial banker institute president. He's a president. He has an R3 status, which means he has three nations that he's responsible for the money transactions on. Three continents. Let's be realistic.
Right.
Then we have another young man. I think Levan. I think that was named Levan. He is a corporate mogul.
Okay.
And you can see that when they do the titles. The other young lady was an economist, a U.S. economist. And they all, I don't know if you notice when they have a conversation, they're all looking at their laps. So I'm assuming there's some notes that have been organized for them to speak on a certain point.
Generated? Look,
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Look, the bottom line is whoever these are the people, the powers that be, that have come together as a world government summit around these things. And this was a much longer event. Took about 6 hours. This is just 1.5 hour segment about digital currencies and retail banks. Guys, do you know that the actual summit got, 79,000 views, the whole summit. But this segment right here to today, let's check it. Hutch, do you have the numbers for this particular segment? I think what did you say it was on Monday? By the way, this came out 9 days ago, 10 days ago today. 10 days ago today, this played, and this is how many people watched it. Hutch, you got the number? We want you all to understand. If you do not know, you will not know. You'll never be able to tell the difference. And believe me, adoption will not be voluntary. It will be forced.
First of all, when it comes to the financial system, adoption isn't an option. It's either this is what we're doing or you're going to have to catch up along the way.
Well, let's start with this. What happened since you guys want to visit back in time, did anyone have a choice to come on to go on the gold standard, to go from gold to promissory notes backed by gold? Was that a choice, or did they have to turn in their gold for those promissory notes?
How it actually, now from the best of my knowledge, how
we're not going to go too deep. That was a yes or no. We want to keep it moving.
Yes, they started with the $100 bill, then they went to the $100 note, the $50 note.
Okay.
In that order.
Okay, no, I need you to go to the other one, to the other way around. I think you're breaking it down the other way. Not off, on. To get onto the paper note, who had an option to keep their gold?
No one had an option.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is how adoption is done in these countries. And if you don't understand it, you are told that no longer will you be able to trade in gold, silver, and this. This is what the United States government or whoever your people are says is our tradable fiat, correct? Tradable. Okay. I mean, work with me. Then we move forward. The money's flowing worldwide, and then worldwide are told the same thing. If you want to do business with the American people, you got to do business in the what?
Whatever they choose.
That was the gold-backed dollar bill. Then we moved out of that. The standard was taken off. Was it asked or was it notified?
There was a notification.
I remember we have video of the press conference when Nixon said, "We have decided." Okay. Do you realize that just like parents in your household as an adult, when you tell the kids that we're not eating meat anymore, guess what? We don't eat meat. Get question. If anybody says we don't watch TV in the house anymore, what happens in your household?
No one's watching TV.
There you go. If the parent says we don't drink soda no more, what happens in your household, parents?
We know.
What happened in your mama house when mama said you didn't do something? Y'all remember that, right?
If you had any good sense, you didn't do it.
Thank you. Okay. In your mama's house, you are in someone else's home. You are not in control. It has been pointed out several times. And at this time, you finally have an opportunity because of the new technology and information that is available. Unfortunately, if you put a paragraph inside the Facebook user box, we won't be able to show it. It takes up too much space. But we love and appreciate you so much.
It says, shout out Joel Butter and his new channel, Bercy. I'm sorry, Bercy. Crypto is controlled by centralized agent is the analyst of Bitcoin. Those CBDC will be used to see what's in your wallet. The government tells you what they will do and roll it out. Years later, they were talking about CBDCs in 2018. Every country that bought one out has had issues because government controlled crypto doesn't work. That's correct, because right now, United States is talking about it, Dubai has talked about it, and Singapore has talked about regulation.
Right. And I'm going to share something with you. P2G educates people to free education about free cryptocurrency, not crypto tied to some business, not crypto tied to some gimmick, but how cryptocurrency works in its natural state.
Absolutely.
We teach you how to use this tech. We teach you how to interact and how to function on the blockchain and how to find opportunities for yourself. We teach you to think and to learn in this space. What you think and what you learn is still your choice. But right now, what you have and what you don't is being told to you what's happening. We are showing you the video because if you don't pass this on, you're just as guilty as those who didn't put this out properly. There's been about 400 or 500 views of this video for the last 10 days. This part.
It just shot out to 80K yesterday.
Well, wait. This video didn't get 80K.
Oh, wow.
The conference video, the whole conference video, the one for 6 hours, got 80K.
Now that's all fine and good. Now, how much did people watch is the question. You can put a big number. Somebody can tap the screen, and you can get a number for that.
Man, I want to definitely shout out that conference video, but
Yeah.
I want to definitely shout out JoJo for because when I was watching that conference video, they was talking about the carbon emissions. And what the carbon emissions is basically, people, they're the SEC's gonna come down crashing down all these companies for all their carbon emissions, especially all the Bitcoin mining companies. So, ladies and
Just another
gentlemen,
form of control. Just another form of
form of
control.
control. So basically, if you want to make yourself a carbon emission company, get with my girl JoJo, man. JoJo Campbell, the master of manifestation as well too.
Absolutely. Definitely want to give shout out because we literally have a widespread network of people who are bringing the info, talking about and getting us there ahead of time. Like, look, this was said on Wednesday on Rapping Crypto. Brother LJ was never more correct. If you getting your financial news from the news, you are too late. You already late. If all your financial news comes from the news, you're late. And if you want to find out that waking up late is going to keep your entire family hungry for generations. This system is not turning over in a way that is going to be temporary for anybody. There's not going to be a whole lot coming up. When they said, oh my goodness, it's going to be extremely rich and extremely poor, it wasn't just an idea. We're already going that way.
There will be no more. There will be no more middle class ever.
And this is the way it's taking place. We're trying to help you see the numbers, not the idea. Look, I'm not saying this on my health. I'm showing you, we try to show you how finances work, how money works, how corporations create finances, how companies and these governments protect their finances, how people actually generate generational wealth and keep it going for centuries to where you know the name of people who lived in the 1700s. You know their methods, and you know of their companies that they created and grew into. You might even know how many companies they connected to, but you know their family members because their names are on buildings in your town. Their names are on different erected in your town, different school buildings, different government offices, different processes, and even some of the products in your home. We've got to get ahead of that. That's what collective enlightenment means. It means to raise the knowledge of the collective through the knowledge of the collective. When are we going to come to the table and start eating, y'all? When you going to come to the table and start eating? Because obviously they got a plan for us, and it ain't the one you would have written. So let's find out a little bit more about that plan. My bad, I'm trying to move it that way.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. I think that's interesting. And Ziad, if I come back to you just quickly here, just on that programmable money comment that Jack made, I know that that's something that you're particularly interested into. How does that fit in trying to get that message across, certainly to policymakers? Because it's quite an intangible concept. You know, we can all understand faster payments, cheaper payments, but programmable money, what does that mean, and how do we get that across?
So I will say the academic definition of programmable money will be that it's a piece of software that allows you to program money or to pre-code money with an inherent logic behind it. So through history, our money was just only a mean of exchange of value. And even the digital currencies that you have today, or even the money that is distributed from a central bank to a commercial bank, is solely a piece of code that has a one-to-one relationship, and that's pretty much it. And you cannot code certain logics into it. With programmable money, you can set up some parameters that allows you basically to accelerate the distribution of money. Let's look at the consumer, for example. We all have here, I believe, maybe a checking account, except the crypto maximalists who are living off the grid. But if you have a checking account today in a bank, the amount of physical and technological resources that it takes to maintain that checking account costs a lot of money. When you program it in a smart contract, it does exactly the same purpose without 90% of resources that is required to make the same thing. So programmable money from a technological point of view brings a lot of efficiencies and an increase of security for the banks and the central banks and the payment service provider. This is a true game changer from a technological standpoint. And then after that, all these resources that you're having today dedicated to maintain these legacy systems can be dedicated in actually creating more value, more financial product, new ways of thinking finance. That's the beauty of programmable money.
Excellent. No, thank you. One of the things that we have to think about, as well as that implementation issue, is some of the policy considerations around that. And one that certainly comes to mind from me is one around privacy. I think that's a big topic around implementing a retail CBDC and it being successfully adopted. So Caroline, if I come over to you first, and then I'll...
Oh, I had to stop that for a moment. All right, so guys, I want to make sure we keep up with this conversation. He's talking about settlement layers too. Visa takes weeks, Bitcoin takes hours. I absolutely get that. But when you think programmable, does anybody else think lack of privacy? Anybody remember how many banks have gotten hit?
Whoa. But don't also forget that USDC has a partnership with Visa. There's also that USDC is also a partner as a partner compatible shit with XLM as well too for those layer type payments. But I'm not gonna go too deep into that type of conversation.
But wait, before we get into that, I was trying to get somewhere, because programmable means you have a programmer.
Absolutely.
That means you have to have someone who controls the code. Now let me come on and talk about this, because this brother just pointed out something really good. Oh, love you guys. Oh, thank you. We love it. We got to keep it going. We got to look. I'm letting everybody know this is about distribution. We're gonna have to learn how to distribute this information. Why?
And Joel Butter, man, you welcome to come on, man, anytime, for real.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt.
See, look, straight up, I want to share something with you. What I heard, matter of fact, let me give you a little bit of backstory, about 2 seconds. I'm a tech. I don't trust nobody. Bottom line, I know why. Because technologically, I know what it can do. I know the difference between certain mainstream tech, the internet, and the blockchain, and how they function. Very different. Now, this brother Joel used the word immutable. He said not immutable. That means that it's identifiable. Transactions are identifiable in that CBDB system to you. It is not pure blockchain and pure peer-to-peer. And
no, it's still centralized.
Sweetheart, let me share something for you. If someone has a control, there's a chance for someone to get hacked. How many banks this year have stated? How many organizations, account programs had a lot of people in them that got hacked?
Well, I mean, just this morning, they were talking about on the news for here in Ohio, there's some 6 million people. CASHAPP got hacked.
Come on. This system is already getting hacked. They want to take all your money and make it digital, but in a way where it still has that vulnerability. Oh,
that defeats the purpose.
People have thrown.
But they want to make it seem like it's always an employee who got fired, but instead of the company who's basically should be subjected to, there should be a lot more cybersecurity awareness, like using your 2FA.
First of all, if anyone in anyone's company, they don't have to get fired to steal your money.
Nope.
They don't. They don't have to get fired to steal your money. As a matter of fact, they don't have to get fired to sell people's identity actively while still working without being detected.
They've been doing that for years. That's not a new thing.
There's no stopping this, guys. There's no stopping this. You know what there is? Alternatives. Because when he opened up, he said, today people have choices.
Yep.
What gives you choices, my loves?
Privacy, blockchain.
Knowledge. And this is why we have come to this conversation. And Al, I was saying this earlier. I was trying to finish this thought process. The reason we're even here with you right now is that this particular part, this cutout of that entire 6-hour ordeal, which millions upon millions of people should have seen by now, 10 days later. That whole 6 hours should have been watched for millions of times. But it was not, because it affects world government summit. But that means that it got the minimum. How does 79, 80,000 people watch this only? And we're changing the world finances. Not maybe, we are changing the world economy.
People forgot that they are the government.
Thank
That's
you.
the problem. They forgot.
Why aren't you at the table? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know about this summit. I didn't have prior knowledge. And we tend to keep our ear to the ground. This what came through Brother Hutch. I'm not sure who he got it from, but because we were lucky enough to have these kind of resources in each other, we can actually figure out what we want to do. Can you imagine waking up in your retirement one morning, your bank account is closed. It no longer has the same coding system.
What?
You got some letter in the mail that gave you a code to access your finances. And you have a whole new list of requirements to meet in order to access your retirement finances. And if you don't utilize them within a certain parameter, you can lose them, because they're subjected to, this gentleman said, it's run on a smart contract. That means if you don't interact with the smart contract the way that it says so, you don't get access. Tell me if I'm wrong.
That's craziness.
Please tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're actually right.
Because when you interact with when you set a smart contract, you set parameters around how the program works. So if you program your money to be accessible, if this, then that, and you don't do this, guess what ain't coming out?
Your money don't come out.
Ain't no money on this end for y'all, boo-boo.
Your ability to have commerce occur will disappear.
What if somebody changes the contract?
Not even that. To that point, there's another leg. That's a leg opening up to what they have. What do they call it? The Universal ID program, Universal ID, and Universal Finances.
Y'all, we about to look. I just want to say this. Shout out Miss Keisha, who about a year ago we had this discussion. About 2 years ago we had this discussion when we were a larger panel of people. And one of the things we do invite people to do is join on our panel, because collective is not the three of us. Collective is you. And when you are here, the collective grows, and so does the level of knowledge. If you are sharing this with your neighbors, if you are having this discussion, we're not here to scare the hell out of you. This should scare the hell out of you. This should scare the hell out of you, that you were not present for what is taking place. That should scare you alone. And that it was set up that you wouldn't see it. You should be grateful that you have an opportunity to be in a community of people that have your back all the time. I really am, because it tells me I need to prep for my family a little faster now, that we are running out of time for this independent way of thinking, and this opportunity to really be a part of the upper echelon of that separation. Tells me that we're running out of time. And when the powers that be start hiding it in clips like this that just sit on the internet and nobody watches, guess what?
10 days.
10 days and almost no one watches it. And
do you mind Joel join us now?
No, have him come on. Have him come on. We're about to shut down the video, though. What I've decided is I'm gonna share this video with our audience members, because we want you all to see. Joel, go ahead. He's gonna drop it in your back office. But the bottom line is no matter what it is you believe, the facts are in black and white, and guess what else? They're in mathematics.
Yep.
And math don't lie. Black and white can lie all day. You could see it. They could change. Somebody could change it up. They could make it change the name. But 1 + 1 will always equal 2.
It's something to be said when this kind of information isn't put out to the masses. This is a world summit. This is a world summit of finances.
For who?
That's the question.
For who? It affects your world and your life, but you weren't invited.
Everyone. Okay.
Go ahead, babe.
let me say this. Every year, there are 4 major conferences that relate to money. One is run by the G7, which is the 7 highest financial grossing countries in the world. Not continents, countries. Then there is the G20 that copies the conversation from the G7.
Come on in, Joel.
Behind that conversation, you have the World International Money Foundation that has a conference that relates to those 2 conferences, and they disseminate down to all 7 continents. And then after that, this is one of the world conferences. This is the 4th meeting they usually have. Last year, we heard the conference was on. They made more noise about it. This time, nothing, not a peep. The IMF said nothing. The G20 said nothing. The G7 said nothing. None of the financial institutions, Cheddar, Forbes, Wall Street, not a mention.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get this conversation is for you, but it wasn't made available to you.
How about this conversation was about you, but never made available to you? And that is what no one wants to really.
It's like just like back in the 1930 when they was like, oh, we're gonna create the dollar bill and take it with the gold standard.
That's what I was saying. In the 30s, you had to turn in your gold so that you can create. They created the dollar, and when that happened, everybody got to show up. They were in people's houses taking their stuff,
knocking on the doors.
Yep, knocking on doors. You got gold. We got something. You got something in this place that you spend instead. It was mandatory. This is how it happens, everybody.
It was criminal not to return your gold.
So I understand the need, but we need to be in a conversation. And exactly 9 p.m. tonight, shortly after we finish here at 8:30 with each other, on this link, you will come to p2gnetworks.com. And you will have a financial literacy conversation along with a workshop around what's available, how crypto works, how the blockchain works. Because if you do not, you will continue on the path of a way that hasn't been explained, will not be clarified. Because I don't remember anyone getting a financial literacy class in school. Does anyone else?
They showed up. Look, and it's funny that you say that because they didn't give that class. They taught you how to write a check when you were in high school. At least for me, that's when it was. In high school, I learned to write my first check. They didn't teach me anything about math other than adding, reading, subtraction. But finances was not a part of that conversation at all. Because they never taught you what to do with your finances. They never taught you what to do with those finances.
Because what we were taught for was to go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job and work for somebody who was more important than you were, who had a different education than you, different family life. And listen, okay. All right. So he's having a little trouble with his camera right now. We're going to try to see what we could do, but he's not, the system won't let him on without it. So I'm going to see what we can do to work it out, because I would definitely love to see who this amazing thinker is. And anyone who if y'all ever want to get on the show, please just hop on. This is an open show. No problem. Use your phone. It's okay. Just need good lighting. Okay. Remember that. Need some good lighting. Good lighting and good sound.
We got to go take out advantage of this information.
The minute someone is willing to pour into you something where you didn't have before, you better take it. There's not often that's going to happen. And in our case, we have people who are pouring into each other for free. You know what I'm saying? We're giving away a lot of information because we understand what's about to happen. We knew this was coming. Before we even knew about crypto, we knew about the financial system collapsing.
Absolutely.
Way before Corona. Why? Because we started in 2019 teaching you all about gold before crypto, silver, having what's an asset, how to back up and protect your assets, longevity with families, how this worked.
Yep.
Sitting down with you and explaining how creating wealth would require you to take what's a debt note, turn it into an asset so that you could hold and raise the value of your finances and protect yourself from excess taxation and crazy inflation. We're trying to help. Go ahead, baby.
No, I'm just saying the options are out there. It just requires you to get in there and do the work.
So with this conference, I'm gonna put this on for just another minute.
Patrick, I want to come over to you second on that. What are some of the issues that we think about balancing privacy with retail CBDCs?
Yeah, so look, it is, I guess, a tricky question. And on one hand, we have a lot of governments around the world have made clear that they want to maintain some of the privacy preserving features that we have with CASHAPP today. But at the same time, certainly no one wants to see a CBDC used for things like money laundering, financing of terrorism, and so forth. So how do you strike that balance between, having the privacy of the ultimate user, but also ensuring that it's not used for illicit purposes? And I think, it's easy to be confused between, we talk about sort of blockchains and we talk about how they're transparent and public and everyone can see the transactions on them. And we also talk about the anonymity of different cryptocurrencies, for example, or the pseudonymity. And I think there is a way to sort of breach this gap. And it really comes down to, I think, having a good understanding of the technology. And maybe I can just give a very concrete example. If I think about the work we do at Chainalysis, it's very much focused on, if we have, the world of blockchain as a map, but it's a map without any street signs, without any signs on any of the buildings to tell you what they actually are. What we do is actually work to provide that data overlay and the analytics, which allow the transactions going between different wallets, different services to be identified. We allow the identification of those services, for example, to know that somebody, a particular wallet is dealing with an exchange, for example. But that doesn't mean that we know the identity of the people behind that particular wallet. And that's where the other parts of the ecosystem, like your virtual asset service providers, your exchanges and so forth, they're actually the sort of repository of that information. And so I think there are ways that we can balance through using the different players in the ecosystem, governments, service providers, the end user, and the fact that you do have a public system where you can see the full world of the transactions without necessarily being able to see right through to, for example, the identity of the person behind those transactions. And so I think there are sort of technological solutions that can facilitate reaching the right balance according to the particular context that's needed.
Oh, that was pretty.
Oh, you got the same thought I had. That was like, oh, that was so
pretty. Hello, darling. Hello, Austin. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Peace, God. What's happening?
Yes.
How you doing?
Phenomenal.
Right, good to have you.
Welcome on. So we're coming to the end of it. We want to make sure we get you in the room. I couldn't wait till you came in because this is this conversation. Woo, guys.
Let me tell you, I
you don't see how pretty that was.
That was so eloquently written. It was so eloquently written because the first thing she made sure that she highlighted on was the illicit activities, the pseudo anonymity of the people who could use illicit subjects such as, quote, terrorism.
Yep.
Highlight.
Yep.
Then she scaled down. And then, we may not really know. We do an analysis of where the transaction going, where it's coming from, but we can't really ID the individual. But then it goes back to illicit substances and illegal activity.
So one, we want to say, Ocean, thank you so much for being on Collective Enlightenment. You want to share a little who you are with everybody? We'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. My name is Ocean. I've been in the crypto space since 2015. The first time I bought Bitcoin was the right way, peer-to-peer. I met a rando on Craigslist, and he showed me how to make a paper wallet, and we did a transaction right there. And then,
wow,
it blew my mind. I really got into it around 2017. Coinbase came about, and it was easier for me to facilitate those type of transactions. And very early on, I kind of recognized and learned that apps like Coinbase are not your friend.
That's right.
They will they will go out of your way to screw you over. And if
Yes,
you
they
start
will.
making a little bit of money in there, they're gonna shut down your account.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They're gonna come up with some kind of excuse. They
GameStop.
lock you out your account. So if I were you, I wouldn't keep more than $100 on Coinbase, because once you start putting some real money into there, it's gonna come out.
Move it through.
I started really diving deep into crypto around 2019, and then I just found Twitter and podcast and different things, and I just kind of been matriculating through how you're gonna do when you're in crypto. Some people want to be traders, some people want to buy and hold.
That's right.
I've done a little bit of both, but I'm more of a buyer and holder.
Okay.
I like to try to find those good projects. But
thank you. Oh my God, you just said the magic words.
Well, before we go any further, time out 1 second. We are not financial advisors. These are just our opinions that we're sharing with you.
Right.
Please do the research.
Absolutely.
Right. For yourself.
As you were.
For yourself. Now, why I said thank you, and I had to come at that point, and I know we're like in the last 5 minutes, we may just go over a couple of minutes, just letting you know. Letting you all know. Something you said brings us back to the reality of all of this. With CBDCs, CBDCs do not have a project. They do not have a use case other than to represent the digital movement of whatever financial product that they're moving. So they're trying to mimic Bitcoin in an automated way.
Yeah, unequivocally. And then, like y'all said before, the government, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, this is for consumer protection.
Yep.
To protect against illicit activity. This is environmental concerns. This is about financial inclusion, and this is about innovation.
Everything you said.
Do is kind of backtrack lately. The feds actually had to come out recently and say, hey, the thing that we said about the illicit activity, that's not that true. Okay. Because truth be told, there's more illicit activity done in the traditional financial sector, and they know it. It's infinitely more. Like you just CASHAPP being hacked.
Thank you.
Banks get embezzled. All of these,
regularly,
stolen from, all these things. And with an immutable blockchain, you're not able to steal this thing. Well, you can, but we can see it. We can see it in real time.
Exactly.
So I feel like a lot of the government actors are kind of against this because, they want to embezzle funds, and their grip is going to get cut off because you have projects like Miami Coin, New York Coin, Austin Coins coming out, San Francisco Coin, and all of those are based on Bitcoin. Yeah. It's just that those happen to be Stacks has the blessing of the SEC.
True indeed.
So your project, to me, it has to be battle tested. I need for you to have some kind of regulatory scrutiny. I need somebody to have had to try to hack your stuff. And stand up to the test of time. But what they're going up, I don't want to sidetrack from the World Government Forum that nobody knew about but 80,000 people.
I know.
I didn't know about this until literally this morning. I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, there's a World Government Summit?
Exactly.
Like, the world government, like New World Order stuff that we always keep talking about? Like,
you mean this whole world like we on the planet?
Yeah. And they're there in all of their prestigious glory, talking about how they're going to
changing the world,
fixing the landscape of what we know. But I always tell my friends, listen, there's Bitcoin and then there's crypto. I've invested in both. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It is decentralized. It does not have a company. It's not a person per se, running this thing. It has a consensus mechanism called proof of work.
That's right.
Most of your projects that are going up against it are going to be something called proof of stake, ETH, and all your ETH clones. And as you can see, there's a concerted effort to try to turn Bitcoin from proof of work to stake.
Yes, consistently.
And they're talking about energy conservation, and it's like, dude, you're talking about mining. 90% of Bitcoin is mined. In about 5-10 years, when all the Bitcoin is bought up and it's all mined, what's going to be your energy argument? Because they're not going to be using energy to mine it. And we don't mine energy. We don't mine Bitcoin on coal plants in America like that.
Nope.
Like when they talk about these studies that are
Oh
done.
my God. Thank you so much. Someone asked me about that. My daughter who's 25 asked me.
Tesla just announced that they're mining Bitcoin through solar power now.
Yep.
Come on, no, stop. Don't tell them the truth. Why are you telling them the truth?
El
I said
Salvador got a
Bitcoin.
volcano that they mine Bitcoin with.
Yes, I
Yep.
said there have been so many
Geothermal energy. Oh wow. What do we
So
taking away from the planet?
now you got to get permission because you don't have the environmental complaint anymore. That can't stand up because I still got people coming at me. My daughter's 25. They got this girl thinking that it has a ecological effect.
Yeah.
I said, what are you talking about? My computer runs all day long and it doesn't burn any carbon.
Yeah, I'm privilege of being in journalism for a good portion of my life, and I went to school in mass communication. So I always, when stuff like this comes out, I always know to question the source.
Yes, thank you.
Question the source of this information. It comes from 4 people on a panel that are paid by the centralized banking system.
Thank you.
Oh,
keep talking.
I saw that too, but okay.
Follow the money, my brother. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
4 people. I'll send you the link in your email.
Please do.
Like it's 4 people that put out this information, and they kind of got it from a study that was done in China when they were mining Bitcoin on coal mines.
That's right.
Oh, I've never seen a piece of coal in my life before.
Exactly.
Here in America, we're not mining Bitcoin on coal plants here in America like that.
What is this, Mark Twain?
Very small.
I'm like, come on.
You know, so
it's ridiculous.
Once you get past all that FUD, man, and you get into the actual what this project is, what it's doing, how it works, how it matriculates.
Exactly.
It's a non-brainer. I mean, it's a non sequitur to me. I joined a live y'all had maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, which one?
And there was an older gentleman on there, and I was telling, hey, what I've noticed that in our community, it kind of tends to be a disconnect between the older and the younger generation, but it's centered around crypto. We seem to have found some common grounds.
Exactly. Oh my God. And speaking of which, so you just totally segued into the conversation, the completion of this conversation. So we're not here to just tell you that the sky is falling and that you don't know. We're here to do something else. We're here to tell you that you can act. There's something to do about it. You know, there's something that can be done about it. Cryptocurrency is not rocket science. And we have a program that actually brings people 50 plus. This is for all of our booming babies, our baby boomers out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly 9 p.m. What starts, Mr. Thomas? Because he is.
Crypto Boomer starts at 9 o'clock. You get the education, the application, use case. All of it happens at 9 o'clock. So come on, we got room for you. You all are welcome to participate.
How to get there?
Go right to p2gnetworks.com, click on Crypto Boomers and hit the RSVP, and we will jump you right in the room.
That's the truth.
Right in the class. And we start in approximately 30 minutes.
So this gentleman here is going to take you through. Now, tonight, can we get some extras in? Maybe some extra young people.
Tonight, if you
haven't quite made it to 50 yet.
If you are on the show tonight and you want to be in Crypto Boom tonight, you get a guest pass. Come on through. You get a guest pass.
Just let them know when you get that link that you was on the show. You saw the show tonight.
Yes, indeed.
And what I tell people all the time. So our leaders, Hutch, you're here, and I appreciate you being with us, brother. I know he's dealing with some sounds. He got family in the house, but it's okay. We don't care. We love him. And the fact of the matter is, I want to just tell y'all, we are here to provide for the entire community, that which we can only provide. That's collective knowledge.
Absolutely.
We are our own networks, okay? And so with that, we hope that you'll not only join us, but continue to look through the website itself. P2Gnetworks.com was built for the people. I kid you not.
Absolutely.
So when people go, oh, that's your website. And actually, it's not. We manage it currently, which, by the way, if you are a web manager or someone who does that kind of thing and loves to build, we got room for you. The collective is here. I got some work for you, baby.
I got to get ready to go, but I just have one thing to add to the platform tonight.
Go for it.
If you guys can watch a miniseries for 6 hours, break this down. I don't care whether you do it over 5 days or 6 days. Take the time to go through this program. It is well worth the length of a mini series that does nothing for your financial background.
Yep.
And it's probably a lot more entertaining than the things that I've looked up.
I caught a couple minutes of it. I've been laughing the whole time. But we're on live. I gotta be
get through some blockchain training, like man.
I know. You know what though? I can tell you this much: you'll have a lot more fun with the boomers than you would be on the web trying to figure it out on your own.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But you can still do that because we got all this stuff from out there for you. We just pulled it together. And yes, please do watch this summit for yourself. Get to know yourself what the changes are coming through, and then come bring it to the conversation on this platform. Join the platform. It's live, and it's also a membership that you can have for free access all the time. We'll see you soon. We love you much, and we will see next week. Don't forget, we got 2 special guests and some great activities. So when we invite you to get on, get your tail in the room, because we've got someone who's going to bring some interaction. We got an event coming up, and then we got another brother who, I could just say this much. He's made sure some superstars got that way and stayed wealthy along the way. And that's the goal. That's how we do it. And then he added crypto. Ow. We'll see you guys soon. We love you much. Peace, love, and you know.
Peace.